Hey everyone, it's Craig here from Pause Resume, and I'm here to introduce to you, that's it, you, our lovely listener / reader who comes to the site every single day, that we have got an interview for you, an audio one this time. Of course, our previous interviews have been written, but this one's audio, and we were very, very grateful to have Stefanie Joosten on the show. Stefanie, of course, played the character Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, a game that won our Game of the Year last year, so a lot of the team at Pause Resume love it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there listening to this do as well. But enough with me rabbiting on here. I'll let you listen to me talking to Stefanie Joosten, and of course any feedback, let us know. This is the first audio interview we have done, so we could probably improve moving forward. Let us know how. Also, let us know who you'd like to see us interview. Don't forget to email us, show@pauseresume.com, and we will listen to you. Please enjoy. Okay, so I'm here currently at the minute with Stefanie Joosten. I hope I've said your second name correctly there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just about. So, obviously our sort of fans and readers of Pause Resume will know you as Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Mm-hmm. Quite a popular game that actually won our sort of Game of the Year, actually. How did you hear about the role? And kind of what did you think going into sort of auditions, if you had any?
Well, I didn't hear about the exact role, actually. I was called for an audition for an unknown game. It was they were keeping it a secret, so I didn't know what game it was when I first went to the first audition. Well, yeah, it's mostly just to secure it takes years to make the game, so it was I think almost or even more than 3 years ago. So it would be bad for them if it would leak out. So
of course. I mean, did you have any sort of hints or ideas that it might be sort of as big as it was potentially?
Well, when I went to the audition, I got an idea quite quickly because it was at Konami, so
right, that's quite a big
it was
hint.
pretty clear that it was a big title, and obviously I could there was a military theme going on, so that was quite a big hint. And well, at the audition, it was audition for the motion capture. They asked me to pretend to be like infiltrating an enemy base, so like things like that. It was that like after the audition, I was thinking, and I was like, that really feels like Metal Gear. So,
so with the audition, I'm sort of sidetracking a little bit here, just because I'm curious. So it wasn't a case of just going in and sort of saying a few lines. Were you sort of auditioning straight away with sort of kind of mocap, or?
Yeah, because they were looking for the motion capture actors first. So
I see.
The voice recordings happen quite late in development, so motion capture is one of the first things they start on. So that was quite early in development. And well, it was all the information I got was you're auditioning for the role of a female assassin. And I got a small script. It was actually of the scene of Quiet in the hospital.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For the first time.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I auditioned for.
Oh, okay, that's brilliant. That's interesting, because obviously I'm not in sort of the acting industry, so I assumed you go there, say a few lines, and that's how people get roles. But that's a little bit of insight here, so that's brilliant for that. I mean, is this the role of Quiet? Is that something? Have you done anything similar like that before, or was it new to you?
No, it was very new to me.
What was sort of other roles have you sort of had before Quiet then?
I had roles in Japanese productions for television, but also theater, and it's very different in the sense that they happen to be roles that they were looking for Western people who are able to speak Japanese. So it's quite particular already, but it's still like you're playing a foreign person who is able to speak Japanese, and it's quite easily to get typecasted in a certain stereotype. So like something as action oriented as the role of Quiet, and being in a video game itself was completely different from what I've done before.
So it was your first video game, I'm assuming?
Yes, it was.
So, I mean, how different is that to sort of your normal sort of modelling or sort of acting?
It's still like modeling as well as acting is a form of expressing yourself, like with your whole body, but also with your expressions. So in that sense, it's easy for I think for people who have been doing modeling to shift into acting.
Yeah.
But still, for something like motion capture, it's quite a big shift. So I was very happy that I got to do training sessions for the part. That really helped a lot, and also to get a feeling of the kind of world I was getting myself into.
Yeah. That's excellent. Moving forward sort of a little bit from the sort of auditioning for the role, I mean, after I think just over a year actually since the game's release, there was obviously a lot of reaction, a lot of praise. I mean, are you happy with the way sort of Quiet Story was told during the game? Was there anything that maybe you'd have done slightly differently, or anything else at all about the character?
No, I think it was done very well. I was pretty happy about it. I always hope for people who play the game to really dive into the story, and and I feel like when it comes to Metal Gear games, I really think like players should be listening to the tapes, and it makes such a difference. There's so much information. If you just casually rush through the game, like people might have a completely different idea of the characters. So Quiet as well. If you, it's very interesting because it's really interactive, like how people will interpret the character of Quiet. It really depends on if people choose to take her with them as a buddy, and I thought that was really, really cool, the way that was done, like how it's up to the player.
Do you have maybe sort of like a favourite scene, or maybe a moment?
I think the last scene of Quiet is, it's one of the most beautiful because, it's the most emotional scene as well.
Yeah.
It was emotional to do the motion capture for it too. So, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't played the game yet, but it's been out for a year now, I think.
Yeah, I think the time has passed now for people to finish the game. That's actually one of my sort of more memorable moments from the entire game. Was quite sort of final sort of couple of missions, couple of hours there. So going back a little bit to kind of during the development of the game, and kind of your sort of working relationship with Hideo Kojima. I mean, obviously Hideo is kind of well renowned for those who love and play video games. So, I mean, how did you find sort of working with him and kind of adapting to his, I guess, almost unique working style that some people have expressed?
It was really, really interesting to see him and see his ways of... I was just so impressed how involved he actually is in everything during development. He was there for all the motion capture sessions, and so he's not just a game creator. He's a director. He's directing everyone, all the actors, and it was really fun. It's fun to see like he used to like come up with ideas at the spot during motion capture, and it was really fun to do and to be able to work with him.
I have to admit, I've not met Hideo Kojima myself, but it doesn't surprise me that you say that he's quite sort of hands-on, sort of during the sort of working day, I guess you'd call it. Doesn't surprise me at all. Moving on then, kind of outside sort of Metal Gear and Quiet. I mean, up until now, you've been based in sort of Japan, I believe. I mean, do you ever think about kind of moving back and working in sort of TV, film, or games in Europe, or I mean, possibly even North America at some point? Or do you see yourself kind of staying in Japan?
I do. I've been thinking of working on a more international basis for quite a while. I have a really deep, I feel a deep connection with Japan, and I feel really comfortable living in Japan, so I see myself living there for a while. But I'm actually currently working on 2 European film projects as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually back in the Netherlands for that right now, and it's a new independent film called The Wrong Man.
Okay.
That's one of my current projects.
Okay.
So I am like exploring my possibilities in the film industry too.
I mean, the reason I sort of asked that question about whether you see yourself staying in Japan is because, I mean, I think an awful lot of people in the West will know you specifically as Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, does that itself bring sort of other issues? Are you worried that people might see you like just as Quiet, or do you think it's kind of a springboard to kind of better sort of career opportunities for yourself?
Well, I think it definitely gave me opportunities to go different paths as well. But I don't think it's. Of course, I still see like on social media. Most of my fans know me because of Quiet, and that I was Quiet, and I'm not like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't feel typecasted. It's just the way it happened to me, and I'm glad it happened, and I'm really grateful for it. But I think like it gave me lots of opportunities to go different ways, and so I don't feel like I'll be stuck as being Quiet forever.
Yeah. No, I've got a feeling we'll see you in other sort of big things probably pretty soon. I mean, you mentioned you're working on the Wrong Man film. I mean, is there anything else you're kind of working on, or maybe even aspirations to maybe work on in the future?
Well, I'm definitely still interested in working on video games as well, just because it's so much fun to work on them, and I grew up loving video games, so it's really a thing I'm passionate about. So I don't want to like make a choice of like doing one or the other.
Yeah.
But I'm also working on a film in Japan at the moment. Well, actually, we're in between filming breaks. So the English title for the film will be Alessandra and the Fitter.
Okay.
And that will be a Japanese language film.
Okay. Will that sort of only be released in Japan, I'm guessing?
It might be internationally released with translations. We're working on it, so I hope it will.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, can you tell us anything more on sort of The Wrong Man, the film I think you've been filming recently?
I can't really give away much of the story, to be honest.
That's fine. Okay, that's brilliant. So whenever we interview a guest, we can't let them get away without asking the sort of one last sort of question. and it's quite a classic. It's kind of a standard. Are you currently playing any video games?
Well, I am actually. I'm still playing the Phantom Pain.
Is that through your Twitch channel? I've seen that.
Yes.
Is that kind of all you're sort of playing at the minute? Is it? I guess you don't have much time, really.
Yeah, I like to play more video games. Actually, there are a lot of video games coming up that I really want to play, and they're not out yet. I grew up really being a Final Fantasy fan, so I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy 15.
Well, it's not too long for that one. Is it sort of anything else on your radar at all, or?
I really like the Phoenix Wright games too.
Okay.
So when I get the time, I want to play the new one.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about the time. When we all get older, we have no time. Well, Stefanie, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here on the Pause Regime show, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
It was a fun talk.
Thank you very much.